Good evening, friends and foes. Pull up a chair, pop a cold one. It's time to get a tad belligerent. Let's get silly. All right, guys, on today's episode, the boys kind of talk about the Baltimore Oreos, first place. We have a very limited Blizzard beverages, and then we head into a very awesome Tinsel Town Tangents where we talk about Barbie and Oppenheimer. Hope you guys like it. Here we go. Yee! What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 122 of A Tad Belligerent. This is your boy, T. Wade.
I'm just Ben.
And DannyMatt.
Well, it took 122 episodes to get weird. Why you just
Ben?
Ben?
Why you just Ben today?
Why are we TBD?
We just watched Barbie and he's just Ken.
Jesus Christ. We are not back and better than ever. Unfortunately, as you can tell, we're just kind of back.
Starting off like shit.
Yeah, Ben throwing us a curveball.
Well,
Were you so happy?
Enough.
Were you so happy because you probably thought of that joke like while you're watching the movie?
As soon as I heard it, I was like, "That's how I'm interested."
So you were very excited to do
Couldn't
that.
wait.
Couldn't wait. That's hilarious. All right, fair enough. Listen, I don't want to cramp your style. God bless it. All is good. So, all right, that is a little precursor. We've been talking about kind of what we're talking about today for a few weeks because it is a very large day in movies. We're going to talk about the latter half of the show during
You've been talking about this since freaking December, like
last year. I've been talking about
October of last year.
Yes, no, Oppenheimer has been on my radar for a while, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. But first, we just kind of want to talk a little bit about those Baltimore Oreos.
Let's go O's.
Yes. So right now, the Baltimore Orioles, your first place Baltimore Orioles, are rocking and rolling. Anybody's listening to the show knows we are Giant fans. We've gone to a bunch of games. We break down the roster. You know, we know about the prospects. Like we're diehards. Okay, we watch every game almost every night.
Jackson Halliday in Bowie right now. I gotta go check
That's
it out.
right.
Sitting like batting 600.
Just hit his first home run the other day.
Let's
He's
go.
sick.
He's 19. Just whatever.
He
By the
literally.
way, can y'all remember when you were 19 what you were doing? Like I can, and it wasn't like being a really good professional baseball player.
It's only July.
Yeah.
Like, fucking a year and 2 months ago, he was taking someone to the prom.
Yeah. No. Last year. Oh yeah, sorry. You're right. A year or 2 months ago. You're right. He was banging some chick at a prom.
Like, he was May of
Yep.
2023, he was going to the prom.
Just both flexing bitches.
All right.
Let's see. When I was 19 this time
That's
of year,
gross, 'cause-
I was signing a lease for an apartment.
And how'd that go?
Not well.
Yeah.
He's already been in like 3 apartments.
Yeah. So, so you're right, Ben. By the way, we do have to go to a game at some point.
Bowie?
Yeah.
Yeah. we
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
have.
down.
I mean, we went to watch Hagerstown play when Bryce Harper was there. So why would we not go to Bowie to see?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be in Baltimore this year anyway.
He will not be involved.
September call up.
I'll bet you a lot of money he won't.
And I don't want him to go to Norfolk.
He'll be in Norfolk next
He's
year.
gonna be our starting second baseman.
He's just
for the
being
playoffs.
No, he's not. Stop it. He's not gonna.
He'll probably come up, if he continues like this, he'll probably come up next year when Kowser or Westbrook came up this year.
That maybe.
Maybe he's not the starter at the beginning of the
No.
season.
Or he'll come up.
You gotta remember, guys.
spring
There's
ball.
also contract manipulation and all that
There
stuff.
is,
So
Yeah.
When you
sure.
got a dude, you fucking play the dude.
no,
There's only so many-
No, when you got a dude, you keep him as many years as you
Play the
can.
dude.
There's only so much. There's only so all like. If he just hits 600 for his entire like.
I
Until
mean, if he
comes
just
up,
stays
it's
hitting
not-
600 Bowie, call the dude up.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, there's a large amount of talent in the big leagues right now because they have to have all these extravagant lineups just to try to get guys at bats. I mean, with Kowser and Westberg being brought up, and then Ryan O'Hearn becoming Babe Ruth apparently.
So now Urias.
I mean, yes. I mean, like,
Who
you got-
needs a first baseman when you have O'Hare?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
He is a first baseman.
I'm done with you.
Ben, it's gonna be one of those days with Ben.
Yeah.
I'm already done with him.
It's only one of those
They're not
things.
going on vacation with this guy. In
I was
a
gonna
week.
say you're choosing to go spend lots of money to go on vacation with him.
Not only are we going, we're rooming together,
Yep.
That's terrible.
Lucky you.
That sounds correct.
and I can't bring my Nerf gun, which is how I combat his snoring, because I just shoot him in the face.
They won't. You can't bring weapons on the plane.
It's Jamaica. You can probably buy a real gun somewhere.
And then you would die. Because I would
Just-
shoot you.
Just shoot me in the ear. So
I'll bring
there
you
you go.
I'll bring you earplugs.
Jesus Christ. All right. So again, the Orioles are in first place. They just went down to Tampa, won 3-4. We got the trade deadline a week away, or a calendar, 7 days away. I I don't know what the Orioles are going to do. A lot of reports saying they're going to be kind of just moderate buyers.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do kind of crazy stuff. They already brought in a reliever.
They got another
Volcano.
reliever.
I think another reliever, and that might be it.
I get why you're saying it.
Volcano.
Because Mount Fuji
is a volcano.
It's dormant. It's
Okay.
very dormant.
It's
it
still a
hasn't
volcano.
even- There's snow-covered mountain.
Cool.
Snow
Felix also himself is not a mountain. We're
He's
not
a-
super.
Well, he's a
literal
hill,
here.
for real.
Yadier
Legitimate
Cano has
hill.
nothing to do with a rock, but we call him the Rock.
I hate that it's the rock. I want him to be the boulder.
Either way.
Because the boulder's at the top of the mountain.
And roll.
Rock is just a pebble at the bottom of the mountain.
True. He's also Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, no one sits atop the mountain. The mountain's the best right now in the game.
Hit this.
No, there is some whispers of Cy Young talk with Felix Bautista.
Really?
He's now made it into the betting books as a possible. You can now place a bet on
Holy
him.
shit.
Well, the other thing is
In the last 30 games,
name
yes.
the other
Starter
American League that's just fucking
I agree.
dealing like that. You know what I mean?
agree.
His last 30 games is an ERA of like 0.5.
And he's flirting with breaking the strikeout per 9
Yes.
record.
Yeah, he's sick.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's why he's
two-
flirting with
two
it.
and
He's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, but he's not the only one. Like all the starters have really stepped their game up.
Except
Except
for
for Wells,
Kramer.
this last two, he's actually been worse. But I still
Who's been worse?
Wells' last two starts, not been
Which
good.
a little
But I
worrisome.
think he's at his innings high,
Which is
but
why-
I'm
that's
hoping
why
he'll
it's
still
worrisome.
bounce back.
That's why it's very worrisome. with Wells.
Kramer's super up and down.
Kramer's pretty up and down. He's having a good start tonight. Knock on wood.
Mean Dean's getting it done.
I mean,
Grayson had
Yeah,
by
he-
far his best outing on Saturday.
I think back-to-back outings. Yes, that last inning's been getting them, but he's been looking studly through the first 5.
Yes. No,
Kramer has a 5-point-something ERA.
his outing against the Dodgers when he first got caught up was okay, but he was much better. Like he was really good against Tampa. So there's a lot to be excited about the Orioles. Like they still don't. Like Cedric Mullins is still out. Mountcastle's still kind of getting back in the groove. But I'd say this: Brandon Hyde pushes all the right buttons. I mean, like he if he's not the manager of the year, I don't know who is.
He's definitely manager of the year, but he definitely overmanages at some points.
He does, but like he always
But
seems
I'm
to make a
not.
good
We're
pitch
in
shit
first
call.
place. I can take the overmanaging if we're in first place.
Right, like
I don't give a shit.
it just everything he does seems to work. So everything's going really, really good with the Orioles. We're after tonight, we'll be 100 games in. So we're almost 2/3 of the way through the season.
We're tied with the Why Not 97 team
Yep.
with wins in 100 games.
Which in that 2017 was loaded.
But we're
Hall
also
of Famers
we're now
all over.
officially Why Not Part 2. Like why
Yeah.
not us though?
Right.
No other team is like really like the Rays have fallen off.
The Rangers have been kind of steady.
The Rangers have been steady. We
That's
played
with
the
losing
Braves.
some of their big
Yeah.
talent too.
We played the Braves well. So it's
No, the
like the best team in the league is the Braves, and
Right.
we played them good.
Yeah, in
Like the
Atlanta.
most talented and playing the best right
Yes.
now.
So-
And we play all of the teams in our division well.
Correct.
But hey, we don't have to see the Braves unless we're in the World Series, and I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
And why not us?
Why not?
Lucas
I mean, and that's kind of
Giolito.
like we were talking about this at the cookout. Like, I don't know if we need to be this big, huge buyer buy all these things. Like, maybe the roster we have.
I mean, I
It's
still
good enough.
love
Yeah.
Giolito, Wells, freaking
Well-
Bradish as your 3 to
It's
go in
not
the
bad,
playoffs.
but again, John Means is coming back. You got to have him somewhere.
I don't.
I think they are.
Okay, well that's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? Just saying, I think they are.
Yeah, but
Which-
as a
Because eventually you can't, unless you release him, he's going to have to be on your roster.
Yes.
So you got to do something with
And
him.
if
we
he
need
can
middle
beat John
reliever.
Means of
we need a
old,
long reliever.
Maybe.
If he can be the John Means of old, for sure, put him back there.
he's starting the playoff.
But then
Like,
Wells
Dan, I'm
can
with you.
drop back, 'cause
I'm
Wells is up and
I'm
down.
cautious because you're right. You don't know how the guy's going to come back. So I'm with you, Dan. In the
Bradish is my only my favorite
He's a
pitcher.
beast.
He's sick. He's
a
good.
fucking beast. You know where we got him? The Dylan Bundy trade.
Yeah, the Dylan Bundy.
He's been way better for us than Dylan Bundy has ever been for us. Dylan Bundy was bad from kind of the start of his career.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
dude.
Dean Kramer's from the Machado trade, right?
no. Yes, he is.
He's like our last viable piece from that
He's
trade.
the last part of the Machado
Diaz
trade.
is not
He's
worked
been
out.
shit in the bed of recently.
No,
Well, he's been up and down.
He hasn't
recently.
been shit in the bed of recently. He's been pitching pretty well overall.
Since the All-Star break, yeah. I think he's had one bad game, but everywhere else he's been okay. They also give him the most run. He has a 5 ERA. He has 11 runs or
He
11
gets it
wins.
done.
No, is that they gave him a ton of fucking.
Yeah.
They gave him a ton of runs.
He gets
That's
it
what
done.
happens.
They definitely give a lot of support.
I think he has the highest.
Run support?
Yeah, runs.
Probably, yeah. He has a 4.8 and he has a 10-4 record.
So that'll break it down. So
He does what he has to do to win the game.
that's right. So
but that's not what you need in the playoffs when they're going to be low
I
scoring
didn't
games.
say
And
he's
he
going to
gives
be one
up
of our 3 starters in the playoffs.
Okay, well,
he's
right
actually
now,
got that. At least a lot of people that follow the team feel like if they do bring in a starting pitcher, he would be the guy that go to the bullpen.
He's bumped. Yes, he's our 5th guy right now.
Probably because they like
he's our
Gibson's,
4th guy right
Gibson's
now.
experience, and then Bradish's and Wells' year,
And then Grayson's potential.
Grayson's potential, and then acquisition / means.
Yeah.
Dean is just kind of the odd man out.
But we also have, like, if we did get a starter, like, we might not have to get another reliever because
No,
like
you
Cole
would not.
Irvin-
Somebody's going to the bullpen.
Yeah, just
someone's
like
got to
Cole
be
Irvin
correct.
did. 2 of those guys are going to the bullpen. And
But-
I kind of think Grayson should be in the bullpen for the playoffs anyway.
He's
Throwing
too
gas at
for me. He's
fucking-
too emotional. Like I think I can see him being so fired
So
up
he's
and
not
walk
playing?
like the first 2 guys.
So he's not playing in the playoffs?
I need him to. He's got to play well for me to put him on the roster.
He has to play well right now, and he might get a start in the playoffs.
So you don't think he's on the playoffs?
He has the most
roster right now?
dominating
No,
stuff.
not absolutely not. He was so bad before he said that's the thing.
Alright.
He's got to show.
I
him.
agree with that then.
So
Because the playoff roster is shorter
it's a little shorter. I think it's like 1 or 2 spots shorter.
than this roster currently. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
So we're expanding rosters in September
and then you have a
to
big cut
drop. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep. So, but it'll be fun times again. We'll kind of keep you.
We're
right-
definitely going to do a playoff projection roster for an episode.
for sure.
100%.
Once we clinch.
Well, yeah, of course.
Once we clinch,
If
we'll
we
do it.
don't clinch the playoffs,
I think the magic
then we'll
number-
do a Braden Hyde hot seat podcast. Because
That's hilarious.
I mean, dude, if we
Actually-
fall off this hard and we don't make the playoffs at all,
Well, here's the crazy part though. I think we're only like 6 games clear of the playoff of like not making the
wild
playoffs.
card.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
because the AL East is so fucking good.
The Yankees and the Red Sox
Are in dead last, and they're like
place.
8 games above
They're
500.
lucky winning the AL Central if they were.
Yeah, so like that's what I mean. So like you're right. Like it'll be a big collapse, but also 6 games is not like a
get
crazy
it.
number
I
that
get
can it's not insurmountable.
So the playoff roster size is the same size as it is now, 26.
Okay.
It is. It doesn't
Yeah.
get smaller.
Now, it used to be 25 in 2020.
Okay.
And then up to 26.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that was the regular season as well. It used to be 25.
Now it's 26. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Fair enough.
Well,
okay.
those are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Right now it's fun. So we got to try to figure out another time we're gonna go. I know it's super busy. Between.
I don't know. Just maybe September, really.
That's what I'm saying. I know August is busy shit. So September maybe we can try to squeeze it in and okay. All right. Yeah. So regardless we're gonna hop into our belligerent beverages because we do got a lot to talk about on the third act of the show. It is going to be a refrigerated series, but a very short one.
Fridge series.
I think we only have 2.
No,
it's
normal
3. Okay.
My dad got us one from fucking
Yeah, Peter Skulch.
from fucking somewhere.
Nobody speak. And a little Christmas in July.
You have to say that again into the microphone. Buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christmas in July. Nobody speak from Cushwa, and Peter's Colts from someplace.
The old someplace.
This isn't really a Christmas in July. It's a Christmas.
In the tradition von Peters and Bombik. Peter's Colts.
This Mad Elephant treats me.
The Mad Elf is fire, but I haven't had. So that's a Nick and Ashley special. They got that for me for
That's
Christmas.
11%.
Yeah, that was good. So the Mad Elf, they only brew Christmas time, but every year they bring it back.
Cool,
Let's
cool.
start with Nobody Speak, and then do the other one of the other ones.
Where's nobody speak from?
Cushwa.
Cushwa.
We know Cushwa.
We do.
Ooh.
All right.
That's good.
Nobody speaks an IPA. A New England IPA, hazy. So we've had
Sick.
a plethora of these.
That means I'll take a little bit more, so Tyler, you don't have to.
Thank you, appreciate it. Looking at 8.5%, 65 IBU.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Finally, a fucking high IBU beer. Fucking, we've been drinking some soft bitches the last couple.
We really have. Yes.
Some soft boys. Founded in Williamsport, Maryland, by three friends with a shared passion for creating exceptional beer, we aim to provide the best product possible while creating a positive impact in our community and respecting every aspect of beer. Fuck you. I thought that was something about the beer. Just their fucking
You just got
bullshit.
so mad at it, and that's freaking
Just their
hilarious.
bullshit about their company. Wayland's I'll double in the iPad.
Your irrational anger was pretty funny.
I was so pissed. Once I fucking read ahead, I ended up being so pissed. Yes. Boteka, Cashmere, and YET hops. YET. That sounds foreign.
Makes me think of Ace Ventura.
It does. That's a good pull.
I think it's gonna be a tasty one.
Okay.
Chicago.
It smells like an IPA, kind of standard.
Cheers.
So I'm expecting a very normal, hazy New England IPA. That's exactly what it is.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's a very standard, very, very on brand.
Not a lot of flavor. Not really bitter either, though.
Not too
I
bitter.
was gonna say a little more bitter than what I was expecting.
A little more bitter than flavor, to be honest. But
Yeah, but as an IPA, it's kind of what you expect, especially in hazy.
it's got a good mouthfeel, though.
I would say Cushwa nailed it because again, they're just trying to
They're top
make
three.
an IPA for themselves, and they
It's
did.
sensitive to that.
It is Sensei. His mic is Sensei. Just like him.
Just like you.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive.
I'm not sensitive at all.
I know.
I'm just emotional.
Emotional damage. Did you see that that TikTok of the teacher? She was trying to spell out emotion, and she was like, "What's this? Emo?" And then all the kids are like, "Emotional damage."
That just shows you TikTok is taking over the world.
I thought it was funny.
That was pretty funny. I don't have much to say about this. There's nothing unique or crazy about it.
This is very much
it's a box checker.
This should be a staple for them.
Yes, like it just checks off all the hazy notes, all the IPA notes that you want in a beer.
Every craft beer place has to they have to check off their hazy
They have,
IPA.
like, their house IPA.
Yeah, exactly.
House
This is
IPA,
it.
Cushwa.
Hazy
Found
IPA.
it.
Found it. This is it. But let's move on.
Found it. Like you want to experiment,
8.5%. That's on the high side. That's good. You're gonna come in. You're gonna like it.
especially because they can drop all the experimental shit every once in a while, but then just keep this
Just
in
stay
the,
around.
just keep this as 3 in the revolver, and then you play with the other 3 slots.
Right. I'll tell you, the one thing maybe that I can say that kind of maybe is a little more distinguished is Dan's right. It's not crazy bitter.
Especially for a double IPA.
Yeah, like it's pretty just. I think it's just regular. Is it a double?
No, New England style double IPA.
Oh, okay, double. Yeah, for
This
sure.
is
Then.
super low on the bitter for a
Yeah,
double
if it's double, then for sure it's very low on the bitter, which is nice for us
Hey, I mean,
non-bitter
I'll take
fans.
it. I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely take it for sure.
I'll take it.
It's probably what you said. It has the mosaic hops.
Yeah, Mosaic.
Oh,
And
the
the
Motica. No,
cashmere.
it's Motica.
Oh yeah,
Motica,
Boteka,
yeah.
and then the Cashmere. And the
That was
YET.
Well, that's a good
So
blend.
white.
That's a very good blend, actually. So, all right, let's do some scores. Solid beer. Checks off everything you want. It's definitely. I'm gonna say this in the least disparaging way possible. It's forgettable because it's not extravagant. You know what I mean? But you're not like angry at it. You're not like it's one of those beers like, oh yeah, they have that. I'll have one of those.
This is also very much you can eat with it because it's not overpowering at
1,000%.
all.
Yes. This is actually a really good eating beer.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to go again. IPAs, especially hazy ones, are not my cup of tea. But this one's one of the better ones I've had actually. I'm going to go 7 flat.
All right. Yeah, it's 7-8 for me.
Okay.
I like this. It's good. It's like I think above average is standard like IPA you're gonna go get. Like if I'm going to
I'd agree.
try one, I'm really gonna like this, and I come
Especially
back
because
if they
it's
have
a
it on tap.
double.
I actually would have another one.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
And at an 8.5% too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's
Especially
a bag
because
for
this is one that like a bartender will have to tell you to get because if you're not an IPA guy, you're gonna look and see, ooh, double IPA, 8.5%. No. I can already tell that's going to taste like triple tree bark. You know what I mean? That's going to be uber bitter, and it's going to taste like dirt. So,
It's good.
but a bartender or like a liquor store guy should come up, or a clerk should come up and be like, yo, listen, this is pretty decent. And also that's why we're here, because it's pretty decent. I'm going 7.5.
That, and if the bartender asks you what you want and you don't say anything, this is what you're getting.
Yeah, also,
Because nobody speaks.
gotta push product.
Thanks.
Oh, you laughed at that one. I thought for sure that was going to die.
I wasn't expecting that, and it was clever. The other ones piss me off.
That's funny. All right, cool. All right, we're off to a good start.
So we're doing Peters.
Peter's Colch.
Peter! Looking at my Peter.
Where is it?
Actually, I can't tell sometimes. My belly blocks it most times, and then other times it's turtled.
This is a call to the fantasy.
It was very much a call to the fantasy. Sorry.
The Brauhaus für the Haus.
What's it called?
Look,
What?
the Brauhaus für the Haus. The beer house for the house.
What?
No, it's in the tradition von Peters and
how is
Bombeck. Peters and Bombeck. Peters and Bombeck. Bambeck. Vici Verwaltlungs.
My computer's like, what the fuck are you
I
trying to
can't
do?
wait to do Oktoberfest with Dan.
Germany. All right, I'm not even gonna Google it. Wait, what's the what is the percentage on? By the way, the beer looks phenomenal. Having like the bottles, cool. We never had a lot of bottles.
4.8%.
Little topper thing's kind of cool. Everybody who's watching on
Topper stopper.
watching on YouTube can see it.
And look,
You know what's fresh? I got the label over top
it's
of the.
0.33 liters.
Nice.
So it's from
Not here, metric
Liter
system.
Cola.
the Brauhaus Würzehaus. Ooh. Up goes the Wieso.
I need you to exit while we're doing Oppenheimer, by the way.
The Oppenheimer is. No, I fucked it. I went to Arnold. Arnold.
Yeah, you went Austrian.
I am Austrian. Oh shit. Here, Tyler. I gotta pour you more, I think. Because I left you the snickle frizz.
No, I'll do it. No, we're good.
Oh shit.
We good, brother.
Ain't no bottom at the bottom.
That's a really cool bottle.
That's how volume.
It's a fat bottle base.
Aaron Hicks got hurt.
I knew that was.
We're just running out of center fielders. So McKenna's
So, what do you guys
McKenna's
think?
going
Let's get McKenna or Kerstad.
Pause.
Kirstad.
What do you guys think about trading for like a Cody Bellinger?
Well, now that we're running out
I'm
of.
just gonna put this out there. I said we should have signed him in the offseason. That was my guy to go get.
Did you see what he's doing in 70 games?
Yeah.
He's already got like
leading the
he's
league.
already got like 45 ribbies.
They're
dude.
playing him against lefties, and he's crushing lefties
Yeah.
right now. Lefty on lefty.
And it's a
I
rental.
said that was my guy. I wanted to go take a chance on.
I would only,
And I think
I would
the Cubs
only
are
do
getting rid
it
of
if
him.
Hicks or Mullins is out for an extended time. If
I'm
only after
saying-
like a week, you already have too many outfielders.
I really don't want to trade much to get him. I'm just saying, this past offseason, he was the guy I said we should go get and take a shot on.
Man,
And I
I'm
believe that
also
was
down.
that was on the podcast too.
I'm also down to get Cody Bellinger and then not play Hicks anymore. Hicks is good, but we're
Hicks-
playing
he
him
was
too
better
much.
when we first got him.
We're playing him too much.
he's
His
been
June
kinda
was
falling.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
July has been god awful.
Yeah, he's been falling down.
It's been bad.
His on base percentage has dropped like 600 points. It's gone from 800 to 200.
Is that bad?
Bro, if your on base percentage is
The
less than.
disappointment and anger in his face.
Hey, yo, you know baseball more than me.
Who are you? All right, let's drink this. I don't even know what the fuck this is.
The Brauhaus Würzehaus.
Buy the house, moving the house, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Edition.
Oh, Bill, why is yours darker?
Ray Von Charnock.
Oh no,
Oh, my hand was.
your hand made it look so dark.
To this day, I think Ray is a Von Jarnock.
Von Jarnock. Raymond Von Jarnock.
I like this. It's subtle. It's a light beer that you could literally pound a billion of. This is from Papa Smith, by the way.
Tyler, do you not like Peter Scotch?
It's confusing me.
Confucius say.
It's like quantum physics. I don't understand.
You should watch Oppenheimer.
I shall.
Von Oppenheimer. But he's Jew. He cannot be here. This is Germany.
I'm glad you said that last sentence because otherwise.
Era 1944.
Wow, this is weird. In all seriousness, this is a weird beer.
I think it's great.
I do think
It's super subtle. I mean, for
it's 4.5%.
4.8. For a European light beer, this tastes really good.
That's why it's weird because usually Europeans don't make light beer.
This is
You know what I mean?
super weird.
It is. So
Super weird.
that's why it's unique and it's kind of throwing me. But it's good. It is good, and it checks off all the boxes where I want to have. Like, I want to have more. It has kind of an amber taste to it.
This is almost like
Throws me too, my friend.
this is the okay. You're fucking
Like, definitely
Eastern
fuck
European
that
out
one
of
up.
nowhere. This is very much like the honey kolsch we had, but with no honey.
That's a good call.
Just the no honey, the initial hit of the honey kolsch before the honey kicks in. This is what you have.
All right, let's do some scores. I haven't done a good job describing this because I just can't really pinpoint it. But Dan's right. Like it's very light. Has a decent crisp to it. It almost has like an apple juice kind of after flavor. Like right now, I'm thinking
I
apple
wasn't
juice.
getting it, but when you said it, I can put two and
I don't
two.
get any sweetness.
No, it's not it's the tartness of the apple. You know what I mean? Like apples. What makes apples good? Like when drinking is they're tart. You know what I mean? So it's the tartness.
I've had like just cracked apple juice where it was like not even sweet. It was super tart.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. Still
Beautiful.
keeping it in because I was talking. And it was tart, and I'm picking up what you're putting down, Tyler.
So, but this is good. For my score, it's weird to have a European light beer, just it is. But for my score, it's way better than all
I was
of our
gonna say
light
this
beers.
is like halved of like typical light beer. Typical light beer in Europe is like 8%.
Which is way better than our crap. I'm gonna go 7.5. 7.5.
5?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it a 7.2
Okay.
for me. I mean, it's good, but it's light. There's nothing. It's very drinkable,
Yeah.
but not tons of flavor. Not.
Not really any flavor, to be
It's
honest with you.
just. It's very drinkable. Goes down easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going 7.5 as well, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Double 7.5s.
Boom.
I like this just as much as I like the other one for different reasons. Just as much as I like Nobody Speak, but for different reasons. This one's light, and both very eatable in terms of both very good to have with food.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't overpower the food. Actually, this one is probably a little bit better to have with food just because it's a little bit it's lighter.
100%.
It's lighter. Like even drinking it, I could feel it way lighter on my palate as far as the other one, which was 8.5%. You could feel the heaviness of that alcohol weighing on you as you drink it.
All right,
All right.
cool.
Sick.
Let's see if we can fit. We're rolling. Let's see if we
Yeah,
do.
it's pretty
Let's
good.
do it.
Finish
Let's
strong.
do it above 7s all the way through. My first one in how long?
Maybe
Forever.
Maybe ever.
Shut up. We've done 122 of these.
You got a bottle opener over there?
But it's my keys, yeah. But it's funny because you didn't pick these beers.
I think we
I
got,
thought we had one here too, but I don't see it right
there's
now.
an orange one. I got one.
But ironically, Dan, you didn't pick any of these, so.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I got this one as a gift. I got the Kolsch as a gift, and then someone brought the.
Right.
But,
I got the
but
notice.
they're gifts to you, so you're still responsible.
They're me adjacent.
Yay!
That's actually how I get away with a lot of my stuff. It's me adjacent.
Me adjacent. That's funny. 40.
Yeah, does it have honey and cherries in the ale?
Yeah, what percentage are we working with here? And what's it called again?
Mad Elf.
Mad Elf. Okay. For what
Mad Elf
company?
Holiday Ale.
Troegs,
Independent.
We've done Troegs before.
Yeah, Troegs.
Cherries. Served
Actually,
in chalice.
hold on. I've had this before. Not for the podcast. Okay.
It's like 11.
That's why when you said Troegs, I was like, that sounds familiar.
So we've had a version of this, but this is their special Christmas release.
Yes.
Check the bottle. I think it's 11.5.
It's 11%.
11, yes.
Yeah, 11%. Serve in a chalice, as we all have our glass chalices. Our
Where
chalice.
did I have this?
It's like, that's not. I don't think that's a real word, to be honest with you.
No, it's chalice for sure.
Our 3
As
chalice.
we drink from our chalice.
Cheers.
Happy Christmas.
I think I've had this at PT. PR table. I think that's where I had this. Shout out PR table.
I mean, physical therapy lets you drink? That's
Whoa! Nope. This has a hint of Robitussin.
It was way better at PT.
Yeah, this tastes like cough syrup.
Is there like a expiration date or anything on there?
What, you thinking it might have been better in September than the end of July?
Yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, December. One of those.
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. There's a part that's ripped out.
There's a part of the label that's ripped out. Maybe Dan's family was like, "Ooh, we've had this in the fridge for like 4 years." Those are probably expiration dates.
I've had it's
Best by 9/13/2023. So 2 months.
okay.
Also, this is a different version of what you had. Because
Is
this
it?
is their special. This is their cherry version, I think.
All right, maybe I just had their regular version.
I'm getting cherry.
The cherry is not
holiday
good.
ale brewed with.
To be honest,
cherries
the
and
cherry is
honey.
what makes this not good.
Right, it tastes like cough syrup, Robitussin.
Yeah. Okay, because again, I've had Mad Elf before, and it is good. This is not good. So cherry Mad Elf, no bueno. And usually cherry is something you kind of add to anything and it works.
Mm-hmm.
This is a case where it doesn't.
So you know how I describe cherry as very cough syrupy? This is the truest example I can give of what I'm talking about.
100%. I agree with you.
I think this is also the first thing of cherry we've tried that has this cough syrupy taste. Because everything you guys have brought that have been cherry has not been this.
No. Like, cherry wine I brought was like super cherry and was delicious.
Well, that was delightful.
Yeah.
That was just a cherry bliss.
It was cherry bliss.
It's cherry Robitussin, and I've had it before, and I'm not sick, so I don't want it.
And I was excited that we were drinking that.
Especially the way we were going, I'm like, ooh, honey and cherry to end it off. Like,
yeah.
And I
It's
can
gonna
get
be good.
through cherry Robitussin because I know when I drink half a bottle, I get loopy.
One more time.
I know I can get through the cherry Robitussin because I know when I drink half a bottle, I get loopy.
Oh, really?
half a bottle of this, isn't it? It might get you loopy. It's 11%.
I was going to say.
This disgusts me though.
So it's the Robitussin.
But I'm expecting it. I wasn't expecting it for this.
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
expecting-
I've mentally prepared myself for the Robitussin.
So you're taking
I
like
wasn't
you
mentally
like medicine
prepared.
as a kid and hold your nose and drink it?
No, I was more of a. I would take like lesser than a teaspoon and just take multiple teaspoons to try to fake myself.
What about a
Stupid.
spoonful of
It
sugar?
was stupid.
No, I would just.
Spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
I tried it that
Medicine
one
go
time.
down. Medicine.
I
I
just,
tried it
I
once
just did
after I saw Mary Poppins,
Mhm.
and it made the sugar all clumpy. Because I tried both ways. I tried mixing it with, not smart, and then I
Really?
tried one after each other, kind of like a
That's
tequila
better.
shot
Yeah,
with a salt.
that had to be way better.
Lick the sugar first and then to it. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, it's you take a lick of sugar after the shot," and I was just like, "Mom, that defeats the purpose."
Ma!
You
Ah!
suffer through it and then you get sweetness.
Yeah, but I'd rather get the sweetness to blend in the shit.
To block it, to shield it.
Yeah.
Too bad. Sandwich it.
All right, scores on this bullshit.
Sugar medicine.
Yeah, scores. This is not good.
No,
The
this
cherry
sucks.
is way too much. Madoff on itself, very good. Hopefully,
Cherry isn't way too much. It's just not
No,
enough.
it's way too much.
No, there's not enough good cherry flavor. If it was way too much cherry, it would be delicious.
It's way bad cherry flavor.
It's bad cherry flavor.
Whatever the case
In
may
fact,
be,
I don't even know
it's
if
way
they
too
use
much.
cherry. They probably use cherry Robitussin.
Yeah, no, but Madoff we will review again in the winter with the real one because it is good. This one's a bad version of it, unfortunately. It's just too much good or bad cherry, whatever it is.
Luckily, you
It's
can't
not-
get it right now anyway.
Let's
Yeah.
also say some other medicines, some cherry Tylenol, some cherry Dayquil. We're not sponsored by
Cherry
Robitussin.
tequila. Wait,
We're not sponsored
I mean,
by Robitussin, so
I don't know.
I said Robitussin too many
I don't
times.
see the point in getting cherry Dayquil because regular Dayquil is delicious.
So the best part about getting sick is just plopping a straw into a Dayquil and a NyQuil, depending on the part of the day you're at, and
Yeah.
just
Dude, NyQuil, like the black licorice, I have no problem with that.
that's the only licorice I like.
I
Is
can just,
NyQuil.
I can just drink it straight.
Also, some of the best sleep I ever get.
Oh yeah, I get
3
some
shots of NyQuil.
I get some good sleep. I don't even measure out NyQuil anymore. I just take the top off and take a sip from it, and then put the cap back on. I just kind of have my sips.
You're who I want to be.
I have my sips just kind of measured.
You're who I want to be.
And I look at the bottle, and I'm like, that wasn't enough. And I'll take another little sip and put it back on.
Damn it. I don't do that.
That's the way to do it.
I don't know why I don't do that.
You should.
Otherwise, you
gotta clean out the little
rinsing out the cup each time.
extra
like a
stuff.
fucking
Is not
noob.
worth it, bro. Cup thrown away. It's
Such a fucking noob.
yeah.
All right, let's do some scores.
Get sick more, so you know how to take medicine.
The only good thing about this, it's 11%. It's not like you're not throwing up while having it, but
I
it's
was
not
you,
good.
though.
I'm gonna go 6 flat, and only just because it's 11%. I can at least get drunk if I like.
I forget
Well, if
that.
I
I
close
keep
my eyes
forgetting
and
that it's
throw it back.
11%, but it's like, if this is the only thing that they have at the party, one,
I'm probably
we're
leaving
no
the party.
longer friends anymore.
Yeah.
And if we're family members,
Yeah, like, fuck
I
you,
don't
Pat.
talk to you anymore.
No, for sure.
I'm gonna
Fuck
give
you.
it a 3.7 because it's a Christmas drink, and 12.25 is 12 plus 25 is 37.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to our show.
Dude,
Like that was just the worst.
you honestly shouldn't even explain it.
No.
You should have just let
I don't
it-
even remember what your score was. I just compartmentalized that whole
Add 12 and
conversation.
25
crazy.
together.
I compartmentalized everything you said and threw it away.
Just
Yeah.
add 12 and
Moved on.
25 together.
Yeah.
That's my score.
That's exactly what happened.
I don't even know what you just
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
It didn't even register.
I'm giving this a 5.5. This beer sucks.
This beer sucks.
It's 11%.
That's the only redeeming quality.
You know those things where it's like you butt chug and you get drunker? This might be one where you butt chug. Because
Yes.
it tastes like shit. So you might as well have your shit tasted.
You're actually giving it a 4.8.
No. You've already given it your dumb
I know,
mathematics
but
bullshit.
plus 11%, plus 11 to it brings it to a 4.8.
Whatever.
I want to give it credit for its alcohol percentage.
That's how I feel about it.
That's- There's nothing else left to say. So we're gonna wrap up our belligerent beverages, which was a solid day. Ended poorly, but was still solid.
Yeah.
So well done. Our last refrigerator series, we actually gotta now do work for the show.
Shucks.
But that wraps that up. So now we're gonna head into a very anticipated, very exciting.
But
Tinsel
we
Town.
have one
Tangents.
movie to get through
That's right.
first, real quick.
What'd you say?
I said we have one
Yeah,
movie
well,
to get
we
through
always
first.
save the best for last. So let's start it off with Oppenheimer.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'll listen.
Now,
Which one do you want to really do first? I'm not gonna say. I'll go with either one. Doesn't matter. Which
obviously, it's Barbie
We'll do Barbie.
first.
We'll do Barbie
But
first.
if we went
All right.
on,
60 seconds, then we can. No. All right, Barbie. No, that's fine. Listen.
I have a Barbie dad joke, real quick.
Okay, go for it.
I might have said this on the podcast already, but why wasn't there a pregnant Barbie?
Actually,
There is a pregnant Barbie.
I don't
Not
know.
Did
in
you watch the movie?
Yeah, I seen the movie. I'm
That
talking
was a
about why
real
isn't
thing.
there? Why is
Well, I
there?
don't know, Dan. Why?
Because Ken came in a different box.
That's right. He also has no penis.
That's
True.
I did say it on the pod because you had that exact same response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the movie came.
Actually, it might have been after we were recording.
Yes.
It might have been. Yeah.
I think you were standing over there. Yeah. So anyway, regardless.
That's a good
All
job.
right, so Barbie.
It's a pregnant Barbie.
So
Just was discontinued.
Well, there's quite a few Barbies in this one that aren't in retail.
All right, there's a lot to talk about Barbie. Okay, so Barbie was another one of those movies. When you look at kind of movies coming out next year or whatever, and you saw Barbie, you knew instantly that's going to be a big movie.
Every girl from
I saw a tweet,
young to old.
I saw a tweet that Barbie is the white woman's Black Panther.
100%.
And it makes like.
Dude, you see all of our.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I saw some kind of movie person tweeted that.
Did you see all of our friends dress up in pink and go with their groups and go and see?
And you know what? God bless them.
See that.
Shout out.
Shout out, God bless
We had
them.
friends that did that.
Yeah, a ton of people.
Yeah, Tim and Brady and.
That was great. That's great. That was great. I love you doing that. That's the best shit you've done in a while. Wow. Great. That was good. That made me giggle.
I'm happy to help.
God,
Anyway,
that was good.
That was good.
no, but Dan's right. This was a kind of a phenomenon. I'll say this again. I knew it was going to be a blockbuster movie. I didn't kind of wrap my head around what Dan's talking about, where it's going to be like this big woman movement. Obviously, Barbie is like the premier little girl toy with us growing up. Like it's the 1, 2, and 3 seed.
And it kind of did what I expected, which was the movie was essentially girl power.
Well, again, and we're going to talk about it in a second. I did not go there with that.
Got it.
Actually.
And Alan.
We're on a roll.
Dude, episode 122, girl power,
And
and Alan.
So now once you started kind of getting the casting confirmations like trickling out, again that just kind of reaffirmed that was going to be a blockbuster. Once you saw that Margot Robbie was going to be Barbie, Ryan Gosling's going to be Ken, you're like they already hit.
I
a
heard
home
they
run.
wrote it for them though.
They did, but
And
you still have
Will-
to get those. You still have to get them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And then
But
Will
it's like
Ferrell in
it's-
the movie.
But like, how great as a writer is it where you write a script for someone in mind, and then they both audition for it,
And nail it.
and they nail it, and they want it,
Right.
And it's just like,
So,
yes, thank
so
God.
the director and writers, Greta Gerwig. Greta
Greta.
Gerwig is probably the number one female director in Hollywood.
she's real hot recently.
She did Lady Birds.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Lady
Bird.
Lady Bird and Little Women,
Little Women,
which
yeah.
are two
Lady
phenomenal
Bird was
movies.
Lady Bird was crazy.
Lady Bird was an Academy Award nominee. It was a spectacular movie. But then again, when you get Margot and Ryan, that gives this movie a little more gravitas because you can also do a Barbie movie and the actors cannot take it seriously, and then you have to go B-listers, and that kind of changes the whole dynamic of the movie.
Yeah.
So because you're getting these A-listers,
So they have to buy in
they got to be in.
to be in the dull
Right.
version.
And I want your opinion on this. I actually think Ryan Gosling and I don't take this say this lightly because I love Margot Robbie. She's one of my favorite actresses. But I thought Ryan Gosling stole the movie as far as performances, and I thought he bought into the character 112%.
His range is way better than a ton of actors. Like
He's
he can
very
play,
talented.
He can play dumb to smart.
He can play
from
a shitty
athletic
corner
to
in a football
non-athletic.
movie.
Yeah. Unathletic, right?
Yes.
He's the
I
unathletic
honestly,
white.
watching
to be
it,
in-
was thinking the same thing. I was wondering if I was going to be the only one that thought that.
No, what? That Ryan Gosling won?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did. And again,
But this was
Margot
I won't say
also
one,
is great.
but he.
I think
he bought
Margot's
into
great,
his
but this was
character.
also her lane.
It is totally her lane.
This is kind of not his lane.
No.
Like he doesn't play,
He's more like a
Stereotypical
suave,
male.
cool guy.
and this was very much stereotypical feminism male.
Yeah, he had to be kind of a airhead. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Some he was just beach.
No, but he was airhead, and then he
Beat
also
you off.
had, and then he
Beat
also
you
had
off.
he also had that designation that all stereotypical men have, where it's like, oh, I'm a male, I can do this.
Yeah.
That you saw in the trailer,
Sure, 100%. No, whenever you
but
see...
that was throughout the entire like. yeah.
He's always kind of like the cool, smooth-talking, I'm the elite guy. But you're right.
Correct.
Where in this one, especially where they really pushed what he was trying to struggle through, which is identity crisis, like he had to be vulnerable. He had to be this not extrovert, that's not the word I'm trying to think of. But anyway, he had to be kind of this aloof person. And he, like you said, he bought in and it worked.
He's
He
in
nailed
his
it.
own world. He doesn't realize that he's in someone else's world.
No. Which is great. It was again. So now, visually, this movie is spectacular. You know, it's very bright. It's very fun. It's very engaging.
I also love the nostalgic when they brought in the Barbie dream house, the Barbie convertible.
For sure.
Like,
they had to bring all the.
But like as a era of an age group of we're all the nostalgia people.
Yeah.
Our age group.
I had 3 sisters.
Right. They all see Barbie. They see their fucking Barbie convertible, Barbie dream house.
My sister.
Visually, like you said, it made it awesome.
It made it awesome. Now, we're again back to Dan's point. This is where I think we get down to the crux of the movie on kind of how good of a movie it is. I totally did not expect the feminism tone at all. I thought this was just going to be kind of we're going to make a movie about toys. They'll go on kind of a weird adventure. There'll be a lot of funny lines.
It did go a little bit more.
End. It tried to be serious at times.
Which I didn't like.
No, and I didn't like that either.
2023, Tyler.
What you say?
So welcome to 2023.
No,
like they tried to do. Like, I thought it was going to be more Spice Girls.
Yes, exactly.
Like Spice World?
Better, more Spice
It would have been. I agree,
if it was,
would have.
But that's what I like.
Feminine movie?
That's what I was expecting. So I was expecting, like feminism, girl power.
Yeah.
Like, still, I can do anything
you were ahead of the curve with me then.
Still, I can do anything you can do commercial with Michael Jordan type shit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that stuff in the commercials. I see the commercials
I expected I assumed it was going to be very much like Spice World style, where it's like it's a movie for the women in our generation specifically because we grew up with Barbies. Yeah. It was Barbie or G.I. Joe. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. And you grew up with Barbies, especially if you had siblings and you had opposite sex siblings. I had a sister. Our house was full of Barbies and fucking G.I. Joes. Yeah. And how many times did my G.I. Joes invade Barbie's dream house?
All the time.
Every day.
Yeah. And who won?
I nuked her house
all
17 times.
She has no weapons of mass destruction. She can't win.
I also didn't nuke her and invaded just for shits and gigs because I was bored.
Naturally.
I had more Power Rangers than G.I. Joes, but the Power Rangers still beat.
Still won. Still smashed.
It's fucking morphin' time.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I kind of got a little disconnected from the movie because it was. I almost would have preferred one way or the other. It was kind of thread the needle, and it didn't. It just for me that the tone of the movie is my biggest concern. Again, but the performances, the film itself was very engaging. I want to say this. So America Fiara, who played Gloria, her one monologue that she did about kind of the was moving. It was great.
Spot the fuck on.
Yes, and it's one of those moments too. You're like, okay, let's instead of again toying with this, I'll beat you off, beat me off, kind of, or even Will Ferrell just in general kind of movie lane. Just do that. Do a whole movie on that, or don't have America do that. Do a whole movie on beating everybody off. The fact that they were trying to kind of do both, but it made me off. That was the only thing that was kind of off.
It's almost like they beached off the fans. The viewers.
No, I would prefer to beach off. But it's almost like they blue balled me more than anything. They couldn't figure out if they were gonna jerk me or suck me. Wow, talk about feminists.
I just got what y'all were talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
So many minutes into it.
They beach balled you instead?
They beach balled me, yes.
So
that's just kind of my.
I agree with you, especially because they towed the line with everything. I'd rather have just jumped in the deep end on either
one
side.
way or the other.
Just be super woke or be not. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what TV show or what series I really like where it shows it doesn't really show feminism or wokenism, but it just shows a fucking strong female lead is Suits, dude. You got Jessica Pearson, who's the fucking boss.
Yeah. And
she puts Harvey in his place all the time. Robert Jane comes in and she fucking handles his business all the time. People come up, Edward Darby comes from London and she fucking puts him in his place. And they go through the
There's
whole
a ton
thing.
of shows like that. You can go back
to Donna's a very strong
right. Donna's a huge female role, even though she's a secretary and she's more of a stereotypical female job or what you would old time stereotypical female job. She still tells 50-year paralegals and 50-year lawyers what the fuck is up because she's just has experience. She knows what the fuck is
ends up becoming COO of the company.
Yeah, exactly.
The firm later on.
Not to divert crazy, but it's just to show in a show that it's an example of strong women perspectives that can blend in well, and you don't have to do a political movement.
In your face.
You can just be a good fucking show with strong characters.
And
male or
accomplishes the same
female.
thing.
You're right.
It accomplishes
Suits
both.
does a really good job with all that. With race, with feminism.
But I
everything.
hate like strong other
It's
side
very
too.
well.
When it's like strong, like stereotypical male bullshit. Like, oh, the dude's got to beat his wife. Not everybody's like that.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? Like,
Or there has to be a sex scene where
there has
that's
to
the
be.
dominant.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It goes both ways. I
yeah.
don't like either.
So, and now I'll say this. So the one thing that is also interesting about Barbie is it was always lined up to come out at the same time as Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer for over a year has been like the movie of the year to watch. And Barbie stood fast that they wanted to open up the same weekend.
I love the contrast too.
You know, they kind of were like, no, we're going to open up this weekend. That's just the way it is. And now it's going to work in their favor. They're going to win the box office matchup per se,
For sure.
for various reasons. Not just because it's like a better movie or anything, but
Well, it's
mostly because of rating alone. Like this is PG-13.
I was gonna say families can go to that,
select families because they still toe the line PG-13
but like
stuff.
all like.
But way
so,
more than Oppenheimer.
I was listening to 105.7
There's like
and
kids
they
who
were
are clamoring to go see
I was gonna
Oppenheimer.
say 105.7 today. Bob Haney's kids decided all his two girls decided to choose going to see Barbie this weekend over going to Hershey Park with her two brothers.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Her two brothers and their friends went to Hershey Park, where his two girls and their friends went to see Barbie at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, also, length of movie. They have 2 hours versus 3 hours. They can get more movies in per day.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
and
they can
some
get
people
one
just
movie-
won't go to see 3-hour movies.
Now, they are fucking absolutely murdering Oppenheimer, and so I was right. Barbie did outperform Oppenheimer.
Like double them up.
I made that proclamation before I knew Oppenheimer was going to be R-rated. Once it became R-rated, that was a losing battle on Oppenheimer's
Sure.
end.
I was just always anticipating the girl power, like the Spice World. Like I was essentially expecting another Spice World movie where it was like I remember the Spice Girls craze back in the day, where it was like
we were in
my
elementary school.
sister and all her friends literally stopped doing what they were doing and was like, "I'm going to see Spice World now."
Right.
Yeah. My younger self probably watched Spice World. I don't know
A billion times.
how many times.
I've watched it a billion times.
The girls got their choice for what movie was going on. It was Spice World. All
Shout
three of them were
out
put
Jerry
on.
Hallowell, aka Ginger Spice. That's on my
I love
top
Baby
5 crushes.
Okay. Okay.
Ginger Spice is my favorite.
Ginger.
She had
I was a Baby Spice
big
guy.
old boobies.
A lot of Baby Spice people out
Yeah.
there. She was the blonde. You know, made it easier. So.
I was also a Scary Spice fan.
I'm more Scary Spice nowadays than back then.
Sporty Spice was the grossest.
No,
Posh was always good.
Posh was good.
Posh was just no curves, stick figure.
I'm okay with that.
Gross.
I just need a hole.
Ticonderoga.
Jesus.
What do you say?
He said, I'm okay with that. I just need a hole.
Just need a hole.
It's like freaking talking to a Ticonderoga, dude. Number 2 pencil. Am I allowed to keep this in?
I'll let you decide.
Oh, I'll take it out if you want me to. I don't give a shit.
Just leave it in. Who cares?
You should take it out.
We're an R-rated pod. I explained that to Rachel and Bree last weekend when we were doing our old-fashioned tour. Because Jordan made a Bowflex joke. They're like, "What's that?" I go, "Take a seat, ladies."
All
right.
No.
All right.
Oh no.
So,
All right. Barbie scores.
So we'll talk about
We'll get into the
when we become a more popular show, and I don't have to teach you anymore. I'll explain that joke, or actually not even a joke, that history lesson. So, all right, yeah, Barbie scores. Out of 6 bunny popcorns, again, I enjoyed the movie. There were some things I didn't know going in, and it turned me off a little bit. But I love the performances. I thought that the fact that they were able to bring Barbie to life is no small feat. I thought Greta did a very good job with that. That has to go, with mentioning. Casting was very good, visually very fun, funny moments throughout. But the fact that it was the tone that sometimes was off-putting, and I feel like they should have stuck to one lane or the other. They were kind of in the middle. That's my only gripe.
Regardless of what side they do.
Regardless, again, I would have been fine either way.
Yeah, I would have been fine either way.
Because I would have hopped on that ride
Yeah.
and gone with you.
Yeah.
But the back and forth got me off. So
Agreed.
For that, I'm gonna go 5 out of 6.
Wow.
Large buttery popcorn.
That's way higher than I thought you were going.
No, I really enjoyed the movie.
I did like the movie.
There's not much to critique about as far as the directing, the casting, the visuals. Like that was all very good.
Yeah.
The tone of the movie was a little off. That's why it's not. That's why it's just a 5 for me. If they picked one or the other, it would have been a smash over for me.
Still a great double va weekend though. Like very great.
It's a giant win for Hollywood this weekend.
Yeah, a double cinema weekend, bro.
Yes.
Like you gotta go see both movies. I don't care who you are, who you like. Sorry, Ben. Continue. It's your time.
Go ahead.
No,
Keep
I'm
talking.
not even on
Why
my
don't you
score.
just stop talking.
I'm not even on my score.
That's okay. You can give your score whenever.
So just for the record, so as of without today's so based on the weekend basically, the two movies combined made $247 million.
Yeah.
I mean that's awesome. That's awesome.
Big win for the box office.
Yes, for sure.
Especially when there's still 6 million from Mission Impossible this week.
Right, like Mission still brought in Sound of Freedom and Mission still brought in 20 million each. You know what I mean? So like that. So again, so now you're over 300 million.
Yeah.
For which is phenomenal.
I mean, shit. Indiana Jones is still pulling in too.
It's still creeping along.
Yeah.
Still creeping along.
4-7 for me.
What? I forgot we were out of size. Oh my god.
At 6.
That's funny.
I forgot you just went 5.
Okay?
I forgot you just went 5.
Now you flip out to 4-7 for me. Marty Robbie did a great job.
Yeah, Ben hates women. Got it.
Yep.
Kidding.
I'm a dyke. That's
That joke never fails.
Yep. 4-7. Margot Robbie did a great job.
Yeah.
Loved it. Great casts. Like we talked about, Ryan Gosling killed it. I love America Fiera.
Mm-hmm.
She does a great job.
I love all the side characters.
Michael Cera as Alan.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And Alan.
And Alan. And we have even got a little John Cena
Love
shot in there.
John Cena is glorious.
Honestly, John Cena can do no wrong.
It's a terrible role. He plays it perfectly. I mean, it's
the most Will Ferrell role.
Yes, it's Will Ferrell. You knew what you were getting when you put him in.
He's
there.
like the villain in Lego Movie. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yes, it just works.
Yeah,
great.
It was great all around. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Better than anticipated because I thought it was going to be, even though I envisioned Spice World, I thought it was still going to be worse. Like it's still like these new shits where it's like I want to bring toys to life, I want to bring anime to life. All these movies kind of fucking blow, and this is a kind of a good movie.
Yeah, I mean it was cool how they had them just like she was like, there's no stairs. You want to go to the next floor, you just move yourself, and you kind of floated down to the
That's
car.
what I like. So
and then she would drink her coffee and like nothing came out, and then she goes in the real world and. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not used to anything being in the cup. Like it was.
I like
cool
how
little things in there. Yeah.
I liked how they kept the same energy throughout, where it was like, oh, I'm oblivious to this, so I'm gonna I don't have this in my world, so I wouldn't have this.
Yeah, and she realizes something's wrong because her feet go flat.
Right.
I think Barbie's feet are just never. That's the way it is. That way they did a cool job incorporating that.
Hell yeah. I'm giving this a 4.9. I'm right below Tyler. Agreed. Plot tone was kind of wish-washy. Would have liked either side just to dive in.
One of the best movies that I think, as far as it was a comedy, but they kind of still gave in to like I don't want to use a political topic, but an important topic was The Other Guys, where it's a complete comedy, but they kept hinting at there
was a real situation at foot.
Right, like hey, our financial system sucks.
Yes.
And then you're still laughing at the time, but you're still like, I'm gonna think about this a little bit. If you would have even gone that 80-20, would have been better than the 50-50.
I love movies like that where there's a serious plot that they still allude to every single time, but it's aloof and funny and a comedy.
Right.
But they're still alluding to the oh fuck, this is serious. and it just makes you bring it back. It makes you just recur in your mind. Oh shit, this is actually fucked.
Yep. All right, so that wraps up Barbie. Next we head
Papa
to
John's for later.
all right, Ryan Mountcastle home run,
Mountie, let's go,
Yeah, it
you
was
Canadian
1-1,
bastard.
so that's
451 feet. He hit a
Listen,
bomb.
when
So
he's been
got
hitting,
over the
he
wall.
fucking nukes it.
So we did give up a run to the top of the sixth. So
Yeah,
it
we
was
did.
tied. So we just
Speaking
Was
of
that a
nukes,
solo to lead off?
no, it was a couple. Oh, the Mountcastle was a solo.
Okay.
But 451 feet.
yeah, dude,
is
when he
very
hits it,
far.
he fucking nukes it.
Yes, he does.
That's
Speaking
the
of
third
nukes,
longest final
Speaking of
round.
nukes, well done.
Oh.
Well done. All right.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
da-da-da.
Hold on. Got even bigger news.
Back to back.
No.
Atomic blast.
No. John Morrissey, who, hold on, let me check his
The
credentials,
Orioles.
works for the MLB Network,
Yeah.
says the Orioles and Diamondbacks are among teams inquiring with Angels about Shohei Ohtani's trade availability. Both teams' interests are described as due diligence. Both teams have the youngest talent base that allow them to make a trade.
I don't think we're getting Shohei.
They're at least making the call. They're making
So,
the call.
Playoff wise, having Shohei.
You can't even get
So,
that.
Playoff wise, having Shohei on the team, awesome, makes us a better team. Regular season wise, Shohei on the team, we have like the number 2 or 3 WAR by the DH position. That's where Adley gets his at bats when he's not
He needs days off anyway.
when he's not having his days off. That's where we rest our players. We manage the DH position better than like any other team in the
Correct.
league.
We also need
Our
an
WAR
outfielder.
for DH is phenomenal. So we don't really get a big upgrade there. Now we get he's still an upgrade, and the home runs are phenomenal that we get from him.
And you're not
And-
convincing
but-
me not to go get the best player in
What we
baseball.
needed
Get
from
the fuck
Fisher.
out of
I'm
here.
just saying to give up potentially what we have to give up for 2
Depends on
months
what we have to give up.
might not be worth it.
Depends on what we have
Now,
to give up.
granted, this could be the only shot the Orioles ever have to have the best player in baseball history on our team for any period of time at all. So,
Thankfully,
But his pitching has to be
I'm about to
legit.
say something terrible.
Shut up.
Should I just say it?
No,
then
you
cut it?
shouldn't say it.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about what you're about to say and it's fucked up.
say it.
No!
Say it.
Because I don't want to do any editing.
Say it.
But I can think,
I'll tell you.
Joey's Japanese and we're talking about Oppenheimer.
What I was going to say was, thankfully, Oppenheimer's bomb didn't blow up Shohei's lineage. So,
Yeah, because he's probably from fucking North Japan.
yeah. So, anyway, all right. Oppenheimer. Okay.
Or he's, yeah.
So
So,
probably lost out on a couple of great baseball players, though. Way to go,
Probably.
Oppenheimer.
jerk. Only bad thing. I've been talking about Oppenheimer for a very long time.
You have.
Ever since I found out Nolan was taking on this project, and we started hearing kind of again the details getting trickled out about the actors in the project, you felt, okay, this has a chance to be special. Now, I'm actually going to let you guys kind of go first because I have a lot of things to say, and I don't want to just talk. I want to let you guys kind of go first. So,
I'll start if
Go ahead.
you want me to start.
it's
yeah,
freshest in your
unless
mind.
you
I'm
have-
gonna say
unless
you
you
can
have
go,
something.
Tyler, because you're gonna have way more things,
Okay.
better things to say.
Um,
than I'm gonna have.
so-
to say. From what your text message you sent me, you enjoyed this movie like 3 times more. than
I've
I did.
seen this movie twice already. It's only been out for 4 days.
I don't necessarily want to say you
So
ruined it for me.
Remember how I told you I'm gonna see
But-
it tomorrow? I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you ruined it for me
Uh-huh.
because you got me too hyped, but it definitely didn't deliver from what I was expecting way better, but there was nuggets in this.
I can't even comprehend what you're saying.
There was
When you
nuggets
sent
in
us a
this.
message, can we give a score higher than 6? I was
Yeah.
like, wow, is this movie that good? And I
Yeah.
watched it and I was like, no, it's not that good.
You guys
So-
are both wrong.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
Hold on. So I loved some of the things in there that that I just didn't remember from the history of it, right?
yes.
So I'm a history buff, and for the life of me, every time I think about World War II, I forget Einstein's still alive.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
No shit. But
And
his
so is
theory comes
Grouper,
out.
who was with him in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But his theory comes out in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So people forget, especially because they show his picture as 1940s Albert. not 1903 Albert, which
When
they
he's-
dropped then he dropped his fucking theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
His young Albert versus
Yeah, so you think Albert's older when he
Right.
gives his theory.
correct. So you automatically
I'm
think
with you.
Albert's older when he gives his thing. So you really don't remember or you don't realize that he is alive in the 1940s and in America because
He left his country.
Nazi Germany arose and Jews became not cool
Right.
in Germany.
So he bounced.
He bounced.
Mhm.
But I love the detail that it went in about Oppenheimer not choosing Einstein because one, he's just a little bit past his prime, even though he still goes back and wants his opinions and wants him to run the math on things,
Mm-hmm.
right? He still views him as someone,
Respect.
he still respects him and still
Mhm.
wants his opinion on things, but he realizes that he's an old ass man and doesn't need to be fucking flying to Los Alamos and uprooting his entire being and moving away from his caregivers and shit like that, right? So obviously, Oppenheimer's a smart ass person.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I really didn't like is that government, especially, they kind of just fucking forget about or like fuck this guy over, like fuck this guy
It's all about Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. They just
Well, not America. The people did it. Not even a little.
Well,
it's just the government.
the government,
That's
but
it. Here, Oppenheimer. The Oppenheimer fell out of love with the American government when he started questioning the usage of the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb, because the whole premise leading up to it was we're going to use this to stop wars. That's what his mind was having.
He was
This is
trying
the
to
weapon
use
that's going to end all wars. But when he found out that what was America's plan, we're going to use this to kind of win, like to do whatever we want. That's when and that's why he spoke out against it.
he built it
Among
as,
other things.
He
Among
built
other
it
things.
as a ace. Like this is what we had as an ace. So we
And
can
America
hold
wanted
this
40
over.
aces.
But like we hold this over everybody, and we know that everybody knows that we have this ace in our hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, he greenlighted everything prior to Germany folding, or prior to Germany.
Hitler dying and Germany.
Hitler dying and
Yeah.
Germany getting out of the war. Like, all of the things, like,
Because he still needed people to see the weapon to end
correct.
wars.
Like, he picked he picked Japan as a target.
Well, he didn't, but
Well, like, he recommended Japan as a target. But that was during the war when Germany was still number one and Japan was number two. Like, Japan was still backed by Germany. At the very end, when the bombs go off, he's realizing that Japan is actually a defeated country and not going to fight back anymore and has remorse about it. Right, anymore. Yeah, if Germany was still alive, that psychopath, the fucking emperor, who thought he was the son of, like, he thought he was a relative of the sun god. Like, that's how delusional that dude was.
Mhm.
But that guy was crazy. And once he got out of power and freaking Hitler died, the people were like, yo, no.
Well, they had that scene where the scientists where he's out riding, and everyone's kind of meeting without him, and then he walks in, and that what alludes to what you're talking about is there's once Hitler and Germany folded, it was kind of like, well, now we're racing to beat the Nazis to the bomb. Well, the Nazis are no more, so what do we need the bomb for? And that's when he goes into again saying like, we still need to do this to show we're the apex.
It's
And
also-
don't do anything more, otherwise you'll get apexed forever.
Right.
But then again with the Bioshock, that's it. That's
It's
all.
also
Keep going.
crazy how much the U.S. was thinking about Russia during World War II.
It is, especially as an ally. Yes.
Like, even though we were helping them, or they were helping
Each
they
other.
were part of the Allies. They weren't the Axis.
But
They
the
were
only
not
reason
an-
Russia was an ally is not because Russia and the United States want to work together. It's because Germany was just attacking both
Yes.
fronts.
Yeah.
So it's that line, enemy of my enemy
Yes,
is my friend.
correct.
So we were never friends or
No,
allies.
you can't.
allies.
Yeah,
with
they
Russia.
didn't
never.
trust Russia
Right.
to give
Right.
them a weapon of mass destruction because they wouldn't trust them to, after the war's over, turn around and
Right.
use it on them.
So we still didn't like Russia. It's just
That
we
would be
happened
like-
to be on the same side
That
of
would be
them.
like us in China fighting Russia
and you
today.
want to give them the information you want to give them. You
Yes.
don't want to give
which
them
was a
everything.
big part of the movie. Again, and also a big part of what Oppenheimer
I mean, shit.
wanted to do was, because he kept saying they're our ally, we should be working with them. Where the government and the military goes, They're not really our ally. They're our ally for today.
Well,
Because we're
They
fighting
hate
the same
Germany, we
enemy.
hate Germany.
Right. That's our only alliance. But after that,
scientist.
After
Very
that, if they have
scientist
this
way of
weapon, they'll
thinking.
use it on us.
correct, which was we get into the Red Scare after
He had
that
a very
Cold
scientist way
Yeah,
of
and that's
thinking.
Literally the Cold War.
They say there, it's not the weapon that ended the war, it's the weapon that started the Cold War.
Yes. So
It's a
But
very
anyway, so-
scientist way of thinking, though. Like, what scientist do you know that picks a side? They choose.
Because
the side
scientists
of
just
nothing.
want to
They
evolve,
pick
they want to
science.
move forward,
Right,
they
that's
want
what I'm
to
saying.
yeah.
invent.
Right,
It
exactly.
doesn't matter about what side you're on.
So that's a lot of the history of the movie. Sorry,
I'll go with what I like about the movie
Mm.
and what I didn't like at times. So I'm not a huge fan in a lot of movies where they jump back and forth in the timeline.
Mm.
Not always a big fan. The way this movie did it, though, they kind of had to, because
I was going to say, they kind of had
if you
to.
build the bomb and you test it in the first half of the movie, that takes away some of the suspense. So the way they did this, jumping back and forth, and also showing you what's going on, the big picture of everything behind the scenes, what's going on, they did a really good job of keeping you intrigued and involved and at the edge of your seat through this 3-hour long movie,
Mhm.
and bringing the testing of the bomb towards the end and the actual dropping of it towards the end and all that, which is very exciting. Some of it slowed down to me at the end. I mean, I was still intrigued in it. I was still very
There were some
intrigued in what
slow
was
parts.
going down and how it all went down. And this was all information I didn't know, and the way that they twisted things and went after Oppenheimer and all of this is very informative, and it was good to know. I'm glad I know it now.
It was almost like a documentary.
But
It's a biopic, 100%.
Yeah. And I'm glad it seems like we have a lot of accuracy.
A biopic, if you will.
If you will.
So, but they did a better job keeping me enthralled with a 3-hour movie than what I was expecting.
Mm.
That's what I have to
It
give.
was a lot like Sully in terms of it was jumping around, the Tom Hanks plane movie,
Yeah.
where it
I mean, we didn't
it
think you were
gives
talking
you-
about Monsters Inc.
it gives you also a great Sully. Top 3 Sully, if you will. I don't know
Number
the third.
one.
I was listening
Number
to
one,
you third.
Sully.
And
Okay.
is there a Sullivan, a catcher?
I'm sure there's some Sullivan.
I'm sure there's a baseball catcher, something Sullivan,
something.
aka Sully. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, before you get into it, can I pee real quick?
Okay. We're going to take a quick break because I had a lot to say.
I know.
We'll be back in a second. All right, and we are back. Okay.
All right. Good beach off. That was back to
That was a very good beach off.
Woo!
Now, so I want to kind of work off where you guys started. So Ben, you talked about how you don't normally like to go back and forth, but this one you felt it worked.
Some movies do it very well. Some it's terrible.
I kind of think it's had to.
This one,
Yeah.
what Nolan did, which worked really well, is when he was with Robert Downey Jr. in his Senate hearing, it was black and white, and then going back and forth to the go ahead.
Before you get into it, because I don't want to interrupt you anymore.
Mhm.
So I know Nolan's one of your top 3, top 5.
Mhm.
I think this movie cements him as like a Mount Rushmore director. So like, I know we could have argued that before this. We could have argued that he was a top director before
Yeah,
this.
but
Argument could have been made, but there's other guys you could argue ahead. This kind of cements it with Scorsese
right.
and
especially
the other guys.
if, again, I'm gonna piggyback
But
on
now,
that in a
but
second.
now go. Now go.
So going back and forth between the color and the black and white was very good because it kind of gives distinct. This is this. This is that. And it was also I like black and white. I think it's kind of a little more dramatic.
I like it as well.
So I'll say that.
Our best pictures in black and white.
There you go. It is. One of the best things Nolan did with this film was casting and having these guys deliver performances. Cillian Murphy is a kind of forgotten about actor.
Correct.
He's very talented. He's done a ton of things, whether it's Peaky Blinders, 28 Days Later, Scarecrow. Again, working with Nolan Scarecrow. Like,
Oh,
he's
that's
done-
Tommy Shelby.
yeah, he's done a lot of stuff, but this movie is Cillian's like it's his apex. It's his number one movie. He was
This is what
born
he was born
for Oppenheimer.
Correct.
He was born to play this character, and he delivered.
Him playing Oppenheimer makes me think that he would have been a great like Doctor Strange.
Ooh, that would have been not the big.
You
It would
know,
have been a good
He could
Doctor
he would have been a little more serious, not as
You know what he
sarcastic or
could
funny.
be? He kind of could be Doom.
He could absolutely because it's
Dr.
scary
Doom.
enough for sure. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Because he could go Peaky Blinders gangster
He could.
on that ass.
He could absolutely.
Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom. I'm kind of now all for that.
That would work. That would definitely work. Emily Blunt as Kitty was great. Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr. We forget how fucking talented Robert Downey Jr. is. He was so fucking good.
Do we need to bring up Tropic Thunder?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's such a evil.
I love Robert Downey.
He's such a well because he got, not to his fault, but just the way it is. He's always thought of Tony Stark as a superhero, so he's not given the credit.
Yeah, that was his big comeback.
Right, so he's always getting lots of credit.
Phenomenal actor.
That's what I'm saying. We have to get reminded every once in a while, and this reminded us.
Yeah.
He's such a slime ball in this movie, but
he delivered.
I also, his last speech at the very end of the movie, when they're going back and forth between him and the security clearing hearing. I was so emotionally moved by that because I was so into it because I was believing every word he's saying because he was justifying what he was doing. Right. He was the villain justifying why he was doing it. This is for national security, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I get what you're saying.
That's what makes a good villain.
Exactly what's a good villain.
They believe wholeheartedly they're in the
yes. Dude, like, so what am I, again, so these
I'm pissed at the whole hearing in general.
Well, we're going to get to that in a second. Like, so those were like the big, and then Matt Damon was great as a Gross. So those are like the headliners.
Is a good ass
actor. He's a fucking actor. Yeah. So that's like the headline actors. What really brings this movie some levity and some light and some weight is the secondary guys.
Sure.
Where you talk about Florence Pugh, phenomenal. You talk about Jason Clarke. I love Jason Clarke. He was the prosecutor in the security hearing. Yes. He needs to do more stuff. He was in like Planet of the Apes, Transformers. He's always done like a blockbuster stuff, and I want more of him.
I want more of him in like lawyer smart roles like this. Yes. Doesn't he typically play like a mercenary type?
He's kind of like he's kind of played a lot of things. Like in Planet of the Apes, he was kind of like a hippie. In Transformers, he was the villain. Like so, I mean not Transformers. Terminator.
Terminator,
not Transformers. Terminator. Sorry, I misspoke. Terminator was, you know what I mean. So like I just need more Jason Clarke in my life. That's the bottom line.
Like, I think he should be, so the night agent just renewed for season 2. He could be a night agent. So you know how they were talking about how he's going to be a night agent now?
Yeah.
What if this is the guy that mentors him?
That'd be great. It'd be awesome. What I mean? That would give us, that show us more credibility.
100%,
because he's legit.
Well, he also, I believe, like I believe when he acts, I believe that's him as his person. Like,
yes.
That's how you know an actor's good is like when you
forget that
I forget that we're acting and I'm not looking at a lawyer.
100%.
Like I thought he was a fucking defense lawyer for the government.
Yeah.
Like the ace.
He thought it kind of was an ace. They brought him in to win.
Some of the best actors out there, you kind of forget their name because they're just so good in the parts that they.
You only remember their character.
You just remember their characters.
Correct.
Yeah.
Two other kind of highlighted roles from
like Ron Swanson.
Dude, I thought
I'll never forget Nick Offerman.
Dude, Josh Arnett was awesome in this movie. I love Josh Arnett. We haven't seen Josh Arnett in a long ass time. We haven't seen him since like Pearl Harbor or like even
yes.
You know what I mean?
I know you're
he's the experimental therapist's buddy.
Yes.
Like he was like a 90s heartthrob. Yes. He Black Hawk Down, kind of disappeared, came back. Hey, I can do this. He was awesome. David Krumholtz, who was his good friend, who kept trying to give him food. 11, He goes, hey, here, have some food. Like, he's always trying to feed him. Yeah. He was the funny Jewish guy.
I love that actor.
Yes, he also played, he was Elf in Santa Claus.
Yes.
Like, that's him.
Yes.
He was in the show Numbers.
He's fat now.
Yes. He by the way, not as old as you think. The fatness makes him think he's older. Like, I thought he was like, super old. He's only like 45.
Yeah.
So
he looks, he's fat aged.
That's what, exactly right. He's fat aged.
Because he was super skinny back in the day.
Super skinny.
I remember curly-haired fuck, skinny AF.
Yes.
Elf nose.
So the performances in this movie were A++.
They were. Acting was phenomenal.
Cillian Murphy has to be nominated for Best Actor. Has to be.
If he doesn't win, nothing that's been out has been.
Not even close. Actor. Not even close. It has to be him.
One of the girls from Yellow Jackets should win Best Actress, though.
But that's Emmy's not Oscar.
I agree.
So that's fine.
I agree.
Now, here's where it's going to get difficult because Damon and Downey are both going to get supporting nominations, but they're going to almost contradict each other. That happened in Ford versus Ferrari.
I don't think either of them win.
This is why they're not going to win, I'm saying. So Ford versus Ferrari, both Matt Damon and Christian Bale got nominated. Usually when it happens, they kind of cancel each other out. It's unfortunate. So
if we're choosing, I'd go Downey.
I would as well, but Damon's gonna get. I think they're both gonna get nominations.
Damon isn't in the movie as much as Dow Jr. though.
He's not, but and then
Dow Jr. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
Jesus
Jr.
Christ, Dan speak. You fucking
But
idiot.
and I'm glad you said that. Not in the movie as much, and this leads to my next point. I desperately want Emily Blunt to get a nomination. I just feel like she wasn't heavy enough in the first half of the movie, but her scene at the end and the interrogation scene is so fucking good. And that's and one of the things with the Oscars is they always kind of look for the moment they can put in the trailer or whatever. Like that whole scene, that's her moment. Like the queen from Black Panther, she got nominated for her speech about like, you know, we're still hurting, but like her performance was good, but it wasn't from wire to wire. She had a good performance, but she had that monologue, which was "fuck, dude, let's go," and that's what Emily Blunt was in this.
That was
so
actually
good.
My favorite part of the interrogation.
I think it's so good.
The worst part about Emily Blunt doing these types of roles is that I've seen her like not in but like interviews like around the house with John Krasinski, and I know she's not that shit of a mom. When she can play the complete opposite, true, by the way. The complete opposite, that's crazy. Yeah. That actually kind of makes sense though. Both scientists both can't handle other things, right? Yeah. Besides themselves. So I totally get that.
So one of the other things I really
But it's crazy that she can play. She's just a good actress. So she's a good actress. She can fucking play.
We talk about Margot Robbie, one of the best actors performing. Emily Blunt, also top 5.
Also, Emily Blunt, she has a wider range because this is not her lane.
No, she's usually She usually has.
She plays the good mom.
She's usually the good mom. She's not the mess. Like she's a mess. Yes. She's an alcoholic. Yes. And she delivers this. Yes. But she also cheats on her husband just like so she does all the shitty things, but she's strong as fuck. When she keeps telling like you need to fight
she's
for
still
us.
Around.
Say again?
She's still around at the very end.
At the very end?
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And she's the only one who, like, Oppie wouldn't have the backbone that he has without her telling him to be like, hey, do this. Do this.
She got him in the rock said, like, people aren't depending on you, motherfucker. Yeah. The line she says where you don't get to feel sorry for the negative actions you caused is such a great line. Like, and then again, like, it's those powerful ones for her, which is why I want her to get a nomination. I hope she does. I think she can, but we'll see. Now, back to Nolan. This is by far Nolan's best script. Okay, so he wrote the script.
Oh, he wrote this too?
He wrote this too.
Oh, shit.
So, what sealed it for me is when he keeps going back, where you talked about Einstein, and the fact that the movie ends with that scene, which you really don't know what happened, but then they explain at the end and go, this is great, now this has closure, wraps everything up.
I love Robert Downey Jr.'s selfish self.
Yes!
I think it's about him.
Yes!
I love that.
So great. So again, just adds to a slime ball.
Oh, yes, yeah. Character development, baby.
Yes. The little nugget about Kennedy.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome, dude.
Because that explains so much. Right. Again, he was the Cuban Missile Crisis president. Cuban Missile Crisis president.
And happened right on the heels of that.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't know either, as far as the history person. I didn't know that he was the one that voted against the hearing.
I didn't know he had that much. I didn't know he had a lot of. I didn't know he was ruffling feathers when he was coming up in presidency. Like when he was coming up in the Senate.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
One of the
honestly, you could probably make a couple movies off of that. I don't know why people haven't.
Dude, I would love
JFK in the Senate.
Instead of making fucking sequels, do more of this shit. But that's fine.
JFK in the Senate, that'd be wild.
That'd be pretty wild.
Right off his acting career and boom, right.
I also think this is so. As far as Nolan, again, the best sound movie before this was Dark Knight. Dark Knight had the best sound editing of any movie I've ever seen, as far as enhancing the dramatic effects of the scene. This movie crushes that though. Some of the brilliance too, where it has the explosion after, like the sound of the explosion after, because he goes, sounded like faster, like that little subtlety. It's brilliant.
Works.
But movies don't do that. They have it go off at the same time. So the attention to details, that brilliance of it is
well, this is one of the most important bombs to ever go off. So you have to get that right.
It's not even when they tested the bomb. It's when they did the mini test. It was the same thing. Yeah. The sound was delayed enough. Again, that attention to detail for me was critical.
Question.
Yes.
So, would you say sound engineering and sound editing is kind of Nolan's niche?
It's something he cares about. I've noticed he cares more about it than most.
So, okay. In terms of senses, James Cameron is the visual god.
Yeah.
Is Nolan, seeing that he's already the visual god, is he like, hey, I want to be the eardrum god?
Yeah. So
they kind of going sound effect wise.
That makes sense, and especially because and
unless
Nolan
you spend 10 years on a fucking picture, I don't know if you're going to get any visual expertise as James Cameron is. You know what I mean?
But Nolan, his visuals are not going to be the, again, we're talking about with Cameron, these extraterrestrial, out of the box thinking. Where Nolan's going to focus on, like, he shot this whole movie in IMAX, an IMAX 70mm cameras, but there's no action. There's no like fights. Like when you think IMAX, you think Mission Impossible. But he wanted the IMAX so you get facial expressions, so you get depth of the scene, so you get the walls behind them shaking. Like that's why. So he uses the visuals not for a scale, but for impact.
Well, does he
but
not
the sound kind of works hand in hand with
that. Does he use a lot more darker colors because of that? Like he wants the sound to affect more.
He did in this movie more than anything else.
Well, I mean,
he also
Dark
did in
Knight,
Interstellar a lot.
But Interstellar, the Dark Knight trilogy,
yeah,
like, those are. I mean, 5 of his best movies, and they're all darker themed, right?
He's definitely a darker guy.
Versus Cameron, whose Titanic was super bright and vibrant, even for the death scenes.
The darkest thing Cameron did was Terminator,
and that was still bright as fuck.
Brighter,
right?
Sure.
Like I still saw everything. Whereas like Cameron, if you have a bright light on in the room, you kind of can't see some things on the TV because it's so dark.
And again, it's talking about darkness too. One of Nolan's maybe best scenes ever is in Dark Knight when the Joker and Batman and Gordon are in the interrogation room. Yes. And the only light they have is the light bulb.
Correct.
That's kind of swinging. Like it's a dark as fuck room, but it's just these 3 alpha characters communicating. Like that scene is moving as shit and phenomenal. But to your point, he's not using all these fluorescent lights.
Correct.
He has a swinging flash bulb or a light. That's it. So he's definitely dark is thumbs up for him.
But it almost makes the sound that much more prominent because there's no visual and
Correct.
you get the
100%.
For part of it too, you take away some of the visual to enhance the sound.
100%. 100%. I also did some fact checking after the movie. They did a really good job with it. There's very little things that they embellished or took liberties on. Like they definitely cared about even little lines, like when he left Truman's office and Truman called him a crybaby. That's a real thing. He called him the crybaby in science.
Get this crybaby out of here.
Yeah, like that's a real thing that happened. When they're doing the Trinity test, and the one scientist from Bad Boys goes the shield, the car window will protect me. That's a real saying from a scientist. Like they spent a lot of time getting these one-liners in because it was something that happened during this whole process. So like they didn't take a lot of liberties. One of the things that also really took sort of the top for me was zero CGI, zero special effects. Everything's practical.
That's cool.
Everything's practical, which is not a lot. You can't say that a lot of times in movies.
No, these days.
Especially, I mean, even with Christopher Nolan, who has used a ton of CGI, Interstellar, Batman 100%. Movies.
In all of Avatar, you know what I mean?
Well, that's James Cameron.
But sorry, yeah.
But Christopher Nolan using Interstellar and Batman's, I mean, you're gonna film on Mars? No, it's fucking obviously CGI. So it was awesome that he can still be Christopher Nolan, not doing CGI. Right. So it's like even if someone has any gripes, they could be like, "Oh, he just uses CGI." Well, what are you talking about?
Right. Again, coming back to the script. So this is a little of a spoiler, but the bomb is just part of the story. You know, so the bomb goes off, and there's still another hour left in the movie. I know you guys said you felt it got kind of slow at that point. I felt it actually kind of jump-started and got back into, but to a different topic. And I was still just as enthralled with that topic as I was the building of the bomb. And I for me, that worked, and that's why I get another kind of thumbs up for that. Like, I've never been more like emotionally moved during a movie, again, with the sound and everything. And I want to say this, Ben, because you said you're not going to see it again, and I get it, 3 hours, it's hard to sit through it again. But I did it a second time. I saw it in IMAX and I saw it not in IMAX. It is a big difference. Not just with the visuals, but the sound. An IMAX sound, like, it's in your chest. Like, you feel it. Especially when, not even just the explosions, but the conversation they're having, where especially in the last, 10 minutes, where it's real intense with Downey and real intense with Jason Clarke interrogating him. The sound that you're feeling while they're talking I feel like I'm being interrogated and I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? And
Only the big sound moments are what you feel it's standard, because I saw it in standard, and I agree. Like, I saw it in a smaller theater, and I sat right next to the speaker, so I honestly felt the explosions in my chest. But I know in IMAX they got the vibrations behind the seat. They got all that bullshit extra.
I was actually next to.
I probably should go see it.
I was next to an old lady in the IMAX one.
Did she have a cardiac arrest?
Dude, she was so adorable and funny. I got my popcorn and everything. She shows up 5 minutes before. She has her bag. She scoots past me, sits down, bag in chest, goes, "All right, here we go." Doesn't pull out a candy or anything. Just watches the movie. But dude, I could feel her like up and down throughout the movie with the dramatic parts. I was worried. I thought she was gonna die.
She was probably like, Let's see what it's accurate and not accurate about this fucking.
That's kind of what I was thinking. She might have fucking lived this shit. No, so I was kind of like joking in my head, like, I hope grandma's okay.
Oh, let's see what propaganda they fed me 100 years ago.
Yes. Okay, now, so Everybody's Living makes me think that's a perfect movie. I do have a very big gripe with the movie, though. The graphic nudity is so unnecessary.
It was weird.
And it's also not Nolan. Like, Nolan's never done, like, he's had like love interest, but like, it was unnecessary, it was unneeded.
I was surprised about it, because I didn't expect it at all.
I can maybe say the first one, the first section.
She's kind of covered up in the one part. I'm like, oh, this is kind of, this works. You don't even show anything, and then, boom, they start showing.
And especially that first scene, that would have been fun. But then the latter scenes, where she's sitting in the chair, and then we have Emily Blunt's imagination, that stuff was unnecessary. And part of the reason why I didn't like it is because that's what gave it the R rating. Like, if you didn't do it, it would have been PG-13. More people saw it. More people would appreciate it. And I kind of felt it wasn't needed for the story. You could have easily just portrayed it.
Kind of made me feel uncomfortable.
Do you think he did it then?
I don't know why he did. I really don't.
Just to enhance the fact that he's a womanizer, and just kind of,
I guess maybe
ramp that up a little bit.
Movies.
But like, you just want to see Florence Pugh's movies. I mean, I get it. But like, it just, I don't know, man. I wish I had an answer, and I need to do more research for why, because it's not part of his. It's not part of his MO.
It also seemed weirdly forced.
Yeah, it was just unnecessary. And I wouldn't know. Again, I like nude scenes because you get to see pretty women naked, so it's whatever. But for this movie in particular, it's what we gave it the R rating, so that's why I kind of didn't like it. Because if you didn't have it, it wouldn't have been R rated. And I think if more people could have seen it.
You can show
because it wasn't like there wasn't a ton of cursing. There wasn't like graphic deaths. So like the only thing that made it R
for dropping 2 nukes. There was no graphic deaths.
None.
Now the only thing there was when Oppenheimer was kind of giving the speech to everyone, and then he was kind of having flashes of what a couple people might have looked like, and showed some of the skin
that's his own like.
But as far as
I'm saying, that's like the only. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's
I did think that was brilliant, because I know my mom was tepid on seeing the movie, because she goes, "I don't need to see a bomb go off in Japan. I've seen that in my history classes." But the fact that they didn't show the bomb, again, huge spoiler, sorry. They didn't show a bomb going off. They didn't show a gazillion Japanese people dying.
Spoilers, the fact that the bomb didn't go off. But it's like, everyone knows that they dropped the bomb.
Spoilers, the bomb didn't go
off. But the movie, it didn't have to show you it to deliver the message.
Yeah.
Him stepping on the ashes. Like you talk about him visualizing the girl with her face half burned off.
Also, and also just getting the report over the radio. That's how all Americans got the report.
Right. Yes. I thought that was brilliant.
It also gives you the visual.
And the scientists, they didn't see it go down. That's how they found out too.
Yeah, it also gives you the visual, though, that he fucking dreamt about 220,000 people just getting incinerated every single night after that.
Yeah, he knew what was going to happen.
Because it was.
He just like the government, the military. Compartmentalized it by saying we're going to kill 200,000 plus, but we're going to save
that number infinitely multiplied by like
the
200 because they were only estimating 30,000 and they got the calculations way wrong.
Right.
And the wind, and they didn't anticipate weather, and
there were some things they didn't account for.
All that
but
shit.
But they justified
and Japan's a fucking island. There's wind currents all over it.
Right.
It's fucking sea all around. It shit spreads.
Yeah. But what they, again, and we know this, what they justify by saying, we'll save more lives that we're going to die fighting each other, and save more lives by less wars
that's
occurring.
also why the U.S. felt the need to literally raise Japan out of that.
Sure. They're like, we made you, exactly.
We made you this, we're now going to make you better.
We're going to make you whole.
I mean, that's the only reason why their GDP is rivaling ours,
Sure.
and that's only because of what happened 80 years ago. And because before 80 years ago, 85 years ago, feudal, that was as close to feudal Japan as anything, because that guy was not letting he was closing off the borders to everything. And he was not letting anything in. He was like, "Oh, you're an outsider. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill you." Type shit.
Straight up guano in there.
Yep.
Guano.
Guano.
No, I'm saying that shit. That was
bad
guano.
shit.
That was bad shit. Because he's guano crazy.
I'm in the guano art.
All right, you guys ready for the scores?
Scores, and let's get the
All right,
fuck out of here.
so I'll go first. When it's all said and done, Nolan should get nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Screenwrite, Best Director, Best Picture. Cillian Murphy should be Best Actor. I want Emily Blunt for Best. I'll even say Best Supporting Actress, and then either Downey or Damon, but hopefully Downey for Best Supporting Actor.
If this isn't littered through the Oscars,
It has to be.
I'm gonna be fucking pissed, and
Right.
I'm gonna question the Oscars going forward.
Correct. So it should do all that. This is Nolan's best film. Again, I talked about his best script. This is best film. I love this movie so much. It's by far the best movie of the year for me. And I think I even said this in the text to you guys, I really need to kind of sit down and figure out how high on my all-time list this thing goes, because it rivals some movies that I hold dear to my heart.
Oh, wow.
This movie, I was so moved by it. I just can't even, especially because I was so excited for it. I anticipated it, and for me it delivered. It sounds like it fell a bit short for you guys, which is fine. But for me, it lived up to my height. My expectations, maybe even surpassed it. My score is a 5.75 out of 6. And I'm only giving it wiggle room because there's no such thing as a perfect movie, and the unnecessary graphic nudity is what makes it lose 8.25. But 5.75 out of 6 is
That's a lot of wiggle room, though.
No, because there's not.
My 0.1 for
Yeah.
nudity and 0.15 for no perfect movie.
Yeah. I'm going 5.5. I agree it's Nolan's best movie. Is it my favorite Christopher Nolan movie? No, that's already Dark Knight on my top 5 list. Second best, definitely top 3. I actually kind of love Interstellar too. But Nolan is he cements himself as a top 4 director. I think he's better than Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron just annoys me with the quantity that he does it with. It's just annoying that he only has 3 fucking movies, essentially.
They're big ones, but
It pisses me off.
I know, I'm with you.
Everybody does.
I mean, Titanic, Terminator, and Avatar, it's hard to beat that.
I hate him though. He pisses me off. But
Fair enough.
I mean, this is an awesome movie. If you like history, if you like Christopher Nolan, if you
like
like
drama,
Cillian
if you
Murphy,
if you like
Emily Blunt,
yeah.
you should just see this movie because it shows them in a light that is not typically seen in other acting performances, especially Emily Blunt. Cillian Murphy also plays a non-agitator. Or a non-physically agitator, which is something that he's played his essentially his entire career.
It's not your typical blockbuster acting. Like I'm talking about Transformers, Marvel movies,
no, definitely
those
not.
type of it's a different type of acting.
Oh yeah,
you're getting a different performance and you're getting a great performance.
I'm talking about he's just not an arrogant asshole like he is in Peaky Blinders.
I'm just talking about every actor.
But he's more of a softie in this, which is something completely. He plays the complete opposite role in this that he does is Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders.
Yes.
Matt Damon. I'm surprised Ben Affleck wasn't in this movie because Matt Damon was.
Well, his brother was. So.
Fucking hilarious.
Every once in a while they have one with him.
The fact that they snuck in so many great actors for little roles like Casey Affleck and Gary Oldman is just phenomenal. Yeah. Just again shows the brilliance of this project.
Loved the dude who kept giving Oppie oranges. I forget his name.
That was the elf guy.
I forgot that he was even an actor. I forgot where I knew him from, but thank you, Tyler, for pointing that out. The reason I didn't know him is because he's a fat ass fuck, and he should join us on our podcast because he would fit right in. All right, Ben.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5.5 as well. I did really enjoy this movie. It was good.
It was
Tyler definitely hyped it up,
Mm-hmm.
and from what he was saying,
I thought it was gonna be
before
like
we
a
saw
5-9.
this, I was not. I was just like, when we came here, I was like, wow, I clearly didn't enjoy this as much as Tyler did. But honestly, Tyler, I'm blown away by your score and a little disappointed by your score.
Well, again, I can't give it a perfect.
I mean, it's 1.5 better than Mission Impossible that we did last week.
What do you want to like?
Score wise?
Yeah. So what was
the
Mission Impossible?
way you gave it a 5.6.
Yeah,
I just expected this to be like a
score.
5.9 for you.
No,
Again,
I
no,
realize
you
you're
also
not
have to
going
realize that it's out of 6. So this is really like he gave
I get
Mission
that, but we both
Impossible
gave
like
it a 5.3,
9-1.
and they gave this.
That
a
just means
5.5.
I gave Mission too high of a score. That's all that means.
But you
Like,
didn't. Mission was a good movie.
It was, but it's not. It shouldn't be. To Ben's point, it shouldn't be as close as this. But that just because
I was
Mission is a
just
bad
expecting
score.
like a 5.9. That's all.
You got to think of it like
the-
it's out
the
of
movie-
6, but it's actually out of
the nudity
100.
thing is a big thing for me. So I definitely knocked it for that.
Okay.
And again, I knock it also just because I want to give myself wiggle room in case there's another movie that is better, and that's a 5.9. You know what I mean?
You also have to think it's out of 6 and not out of 10 or 100. So it's like it's on a.
It's exponential.
It's exponential.
I get you. It's more than a 1.5 would be in our
Right.
review.
Mhm.
Like a 5.5 out of 6 is kind of like a 9 and a 9 point.
I'll tell you exactly.
Out
That's-
of 10.
You don't even get into all the ratios, Dan.
It doesn't matter. Let's get the fuck out of here.
But it was a great movie. People should go see it.
It's not a.
Tyler claims to go see it in IMAX. I would agree.
Mhm.
I kind of do want to go see it in
Yeah.
IMAX before it's out of theaters.
Wait
Yeah.
a couple weekends.
So,
All
right.
I'll go on a Tuesday when it's half price.
that's the way to do it.
All right, let's get the fuck out of
All
here.
right, let's get out of here. All right, thank you guys for listening. Again, this is a humongous weekend for Hollywood. Please go support it. We need theaters to survive. Unfortunately, we just read the other day that Snowden is closing.
Oh no.
I haven't been there.
And Hoyt's already closed. So
Hoyt's
basically-
closed a while ago.
Yeah, the only two movie theaters in town right now are the
Cinemark
malls.
and on an AMC.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Well, RIP
yeah, RIP.
to the cheap locations.
That's right. So again, if you like the show, please give us a like, share, and follow individually. And the show has its own accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Other than that, I'm tired of talking. So we're done. We're done. We're gonna sign
This
out.
should be our last podcast where the Orioles don't have Shohei Ohtani on the roster.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be crazy.
All right, signing out. This is your boy T. Wade.
This has been enough.
Jesus Christ.
And DannyMatt.
Keep living the dream.
Peace.